Hello everyone and welcome in joining me in this exciting game between Hitman versus INSUP, two of the biggest North American players playing playing here and duking it out here on Turtle Rock. Over here in what I will call, well, the 5 o'clock position, we have Hitman playing under the name Ethereal, spawning as the Pink Orc. Meanwhile, INSUP, the man from the north, spawning in the north location. Thank you for the sub. Wow, thank you for the sub, Paul, as we're looking at INSUP spawning as that green undead. I didn't even do anything, so thank you. He must be a long-time subscriber. Don't recognize the name. My apologies. But yeah, no, having a lot of fun here. I'm trying to get my life back into me as work has been rather tough. Um, yeah, work's been rather tough for me. My day job, Azure going down, things of that nature. Let's go ahead and instead reshift and focus back onto what's going down in the bottom side of the map. It is going to be a Farseer coming in from Ethereal, or rather Hitman. So Farseer first, we'll see what that second hero is going to be. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Death Knight coming in from INSUP. So far in this matchup, I am expecting to see Crypt Fiends based upon, well, that early graveyard. Death Knight, however, doesn't seem to be that delayed. We may be looking at, well, Tomb of Relics, Rod of Necromancy early creeping, and then following it up with some Crypt Fiends later on. Coming back down to the south here, Farseer. Well, solo barracks, one orc burrow, no voodoo lounge as of yet, so it could be a very fast tech to tier 2. And once we get in, are we going into that 21 supply? No, we're not. All right, so not going into 21 supply. Farseer is already out onto the battlefield. Farseer now on the move here. But where are units going to be going? That is the question. Acolyte. Well, Acolyte trying to hang around over here, perhaps trying to get that last hit. Is it going to get the last hit? No, it is not. Farseer gets the last hit. A for effort on that Acolyte for trying, as that Acolyte now being shooed back once more. Tech to tier 2 should already be started. Yep, there it goes. Already started. Not quite sure why he didn't get that extra peon. Normally, a lot of orc players have recently gotten that 21st supply peon, that 13th peon, in order to have more lumber coming out at the start of tier 2. You're trying to build your voodoo lounges, your bestiaries, your spirit lodge, and train up a second hero. All of that requires a good amount of lumber. Coming back down to the south here, Death Knight wandering forth does have skeletal minions. Crypt Fiends should already be inbound. Wait, nope, no inbound Crypt Fiends yet, as INSUP has the supply but is not opting to train them. Not sure what's going on here, as the Farseer already gets the level 2, has double cloaks of shadow, just, well, to be sold a little bit later on. What is going on here as the units are now making their way back off to the north? Here we go. Little bit of engagement. Farseer trying to get some damage onto the Haunted Gold Mine. There's a Chain Lightning Death Knight nowhere to be found. A bit far away as the Farseer is now being slowed. As the Scroll of Town Portal coming back in here. INSUP now being forced to try and get a Death Well. Save some of those Acolytes. No or limited mining happening here. Unholy Aura on the Death Knight. And it looks as though, well, the Acolytes, while on Blight, are just going to be regenerating a lot of hit points. But, oh, a beautiful save right there. Is this one Acolyte going to get taken down, trying to run away, changing up and microing the Nerubian Tower to hit two separate Spirit Wolves? That was absolutely a brilliant play by INSUP to make sure that an Acolyte did not go down. Hello, Night Miss. Or, yeah, hello, Night Miss. How are you doing? It took me a second to realize who CG was. I'm like, who's CG? He was like, oh, Crota Gaming. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's me. Anyways, Farseer now wandering around here. Grunts coming back. We are teching the tier 2, nearly done for the Orc. Back off to the north here. INSUP. Well, Necropolis nearly done as well. Decent amount of lumber for INSUP. He will want to try and train up that Lich. Also try to tech to tier 3 and also try to get down a slaughterhouse as well. All very lumber intensive, and that play early on by Hitman, well, forcing some of the ghouls off did cause a bit of a problem. Down back to the south here, Farseer are going to finish off some of these units well, Ringer Protection +3 left behind. We should be looking at a Voodoo Lounge already. There's the Bestiary, and it is going to be double Bestiary with a Tauren Chieftain as the second hero. Double Bestiary Raiders, very popular, of course, being able to ensnare down. Raiders so effective at well, trapping units, purging them down, able to get to the back lines, and really plays into that Orc speed game, being one of the faster units at Tier 2. All right, Tauren Chieftain out on the field here. Once again, hats off to Pad for making such a, well, just a brilliant interface here, keeping that the Tauren Chieftain icon is actually sitting right behind here, but they placed this marker to block it. So even though Ethereal is on the right-hand side, it just looks absolutely great. I thank him very much. Ogre Magi going to get taken down. Farseer now sitting at level 3. Are we going to be selling some Cloak of Shadows? No reason to really have two, as the Watcher Ward is in position. Lich now out on the battlefield as well. It has a Rod of Necromancy. Tech to Tier 3 has already begun. There's that Slaughterhouse as well, as we rush on into Tier 3. Where is our cute co-host? Hope the new interface fixes double panda. Yeah, as often as that happens, right? He needs to fix a double panda problem. I don't even know how you would tell that one hero or one side has double heroes and it is the same hero, and how you would be able to determine which hero has what stats. Perhaps there is more information there to parse. It's got to be there, but Pad probably has not even really looked at it yet. All right, we are at Wind Riders. We are only at Tier 2, not going to Tier 3. No reinforced defenses yet. And on top of that, not even a War Mill. This could be problematic, as Undead is known to use Crypt Fiends early on to try and put pressure onto Orc bases. And because there is no until Tier 3 previously, now that it is accessible at Tier 2, a lot more undead players don't put pressure on Tier 2, but, well, it's still a trick up their sleeve if they try to go for it, and without a War Mill, well, that is going to be a definite problem. Hitman sitting at 200 lumber, has a large amount of lumber, getting up to 51 supply here, as we're going to be looking at, well, Wind Riders, the choice overall, as the Wind Riders with Envenom Spears. That Envenom does stack and deal large amount of damage over time, especially effective during those hit and run scenarios. But I do expect to see at least 1 or 2 Raiders to try and force an engagement. Kagar's Pipe of Insight on the Tauren Chieftain, going to give extra mana to the Farseer and that Tauren Chieftain as well. Additional stomps may be in order. Meanwhile, Death Knight sitting at a Potion of Greater Mana and Wand of Mana Stealing, both very powerful items as well. A lot of consumable items to be used. Lich is sitting at Tier 2, faster attack speed because of those Slippers of Agility and gloves, or the Gloves of Haste there, attacking slightly more quickly, being able to apply that debuff to more units. All right, it looks like Ethereal being very careful, and he's creeping out difficult creep camps and pretty much unopposed. Very surprised about this, to be able to creep out such difficult creep camps unopposed and being able to walk all across the map here. Hitman already sitting at 48 over 51 supply. More Wind Riders getting added in. I don't see any, I repeat, I don't see any Envenom Spears, and we are now looking at the War Mill as the, well, Pit Lord going to be joining in. Oh, INSUP would have had an absolute blast of a time attacking the Orc burrows before reinforced defenses was done. And Hitman must have known that just the simple idea of reinforced defenses being available, a lot of Orc players don't want to risk a push and waste time for a strategy that would inevitably fail. Reinforced defense is already coming into play here. It is started before Stronghold, so it's still a slight upgrade, as the units of, well, Hitman being incredibly aggressive in all of this creeping. Farseer is at 4. Tauren Chieftain will also be at 4 as well. The Khadgar's Pipe of Insight, letting that Farseer use mana a little bit more freely as well, as we may have a Scroll of Town Portal to retreat back and try and save here. Reinforced defense is not yet done. Scroll of Town Portal now coming across. Orc Burrow right there. Are we going to see some damage? Perhaps some... What are we looking at? Howl of Terror to try and reduce all of that damage here. Envenom Spears already being researched. Frost Nova onto that Farseer. Farseer needs to find some ways to heal as the Orc Burrows are suffering damage now. Massive repairs underway. Howl of Terror right there. Unit's going to try to engage here. Are we going to look at a Stomp here? Yes, there is a Stomp. Level 4 now on that Tauren Chieftain. Chain Lightning followed by a Death Coil for the save. Wind Riders are relatively weak. Only 570 hit points. Scroll of Speed. Another Stomp coming in. Tauren Chieftain has one more Stomp in the tank as the Chain Lightning was a split second late, allowing with that Death Coil saving that target again. There goes another Stomp once more. So many Wind Riders. And is the Envenom Spears now done? Yes, Envenom Spears is now done, but beautiful Death Coil again by INSUP, keeping this army alive. 45 supply compared to 41 right now. Hitman finally falling behind, not really having the home field advantage that he's needing, as the Wind Riders are just getting slowly poked out of the sky. And, well, the Death Knight with mana potions and Wanda mana stealing with an Obsidian statue backing it up seems to have mana for days and longer. Reinforced defense is now ready, but Hitman, well, came into this fight, Scroll of Town Portal, even on supply, and now, well, finding himself 14 supply in the hole. Additional units could be added in here. Well, we are looking at steel ranged weapons, and at this point INSUP says, you know what, I can back away, I can regroup, I can figure out what my follow-up strategy is going to be. All right, Wind Riders getting ready to engage once more. 1-0 upgrades. Meanwhile, the Crypt Fiends with Web on autocast, able to bring down many of those Wind Riders and have them focused down. Tauren Chieftain unable to get amongst all of those units, but Hitman not giving up yet. Hitman running all the way across the map on the other side. Perhaps he noticed that his opponent did not have a Scroll of Town Portal and now being forced to walk all the way back as we see, well, some blasts, some Frost Novas all across the board. Farseer now looking to back away. Wind Riders backing up. There is one Spirit Tower causing a lot of piercing damage as well, as we're just looking at, well, whether or not Hitman can force INSUP to fall behind a little bit economically. It is 7 gold a second compared to 10, as INSUP is at low upkeep at 51 supply, the number that you never ever want to be at. Ghoul now making its way back out across there. Another final shot getting taken out. And this is Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock has a plethora of creeps. And after 13 minutes, the vast majority of them are gone. Only these fringe ogre warriors in the corner are still left. All right, Peon, Hitman looking to set up an expansion here in just a second. 50 supply compared to 51. Hitman having better awareness of taxes and wanting to avoid a 30% tax just for going into 51 supply. Peons now trying to retreat back here. Orc Burrow is going to get pressured. Repairs are going to be needed. Peons already fighting their way back. One Orc Burrow will end up being lost, or is it going to be repaired? Already being repaired there as a Wind Rider getting caught in transit already. Tauren Chieftain, Scroll of Speed is going to try to land down here. Death Coil not in time. The travel distance, Chain Lightning finding it first, and that finally tips in favor of Hitman there. Game of seconds. This is a definite game of seconds, and there it happened again. Another Crypt Fiend died while a Death Coil was on its way in. Day late and $1 short, as I used to say, as the Tauren Chieftain puts his foot down, trying to finish off more of those units again and again. All right, Hitman still in terms of supply, the thing's trading a bit better until that Farseer fell at level 4. Tauren Chieftain now looking to back away. Spirit Wolf still trying to get in damage. 34 supply compared to 22 once more. Orc Burrows are attempting to fight back as well, but there are simply just too many heroes. Farseer getting in some repairs once again, and well, the layout of my house right now, there's a bunch of birds, but and the back windows are open, but it's like echoing in this chamber, and I feel like there's like a bird talking to me, like right off over here. It's strange. All right, it's strange. Anyways, Death Knight, Pit Lord, all of this gonna engage. We're looking at, well, Tauren Chieftain Farseer are looking to take down units in transit, and that's pretty useful right there. Farseer now getting up to level 5, finding another Crypt Fiend here, and, well, Hitman is still trying to find ways to win. Attacking with Crypt Fiends and Obsidian statues and heroes is not an effective way at destroying bases. No presence of a meat wagon or any siege damage really changes things up. 26 supply compared to 34 here. Units are now trying to make their way back. There comes a Voodoo Lounge being rebuilt as a Crypt Fiend is going to make the long trek to see what it can be done, if anything. All right, Wind Riders there. Frost Nova, Howl of Terror. And that Wind Rider blasted out of the sky so quickly. Tauren Chieftain is going to be able to get that damage, finish off any of those units. Tauren Chieftain, well, finishes off again as the Shadow Wolves, while they are, well, invisible, obviously difficult to try and take down. All right, Death Coil onto the Farseer. Farseer looking to finish things off here. Could try and finish off another Obsidian statue. Gets a stomp in. Is he going to be able to finish off these last of two Obsidian statues here, dividing and conquering all across the board? The Obsidian statue down to 79 hit points. A little bit of damage underway as we're looking at that Obsidian statue down to 48. Voodoo Lounge trying to get added in. Tauren Chieftain trying to retreat back. Shadow Wolf gets a critical strike there as the Tauren Chieftain takes a bit of damage. Trying to hold that distance. Is he going to be able to do anything? Buys a potion of healing. Death Coil going to be coming in. Still gets the Death Coil down to 208 hit points. No real reason to stick around. But there's that Frost Nova down to 108 hit points. There's a healing salve. Scroll of speed off to the races once more. Pit Lord trying to chase Tauren Chieftain. Why is it actually slower than a Pit Lord there? I do not know, as the Wind Riders, well, Tauren Chieftain, Staff of Teleportation, able to head back. Wind Riders getting webbed down. There is the expansion for Hitman. That is the economic advantage that he's looking for here. Staff of Teleportation, Tauren Chieftain healing back up, trying to get more mana as well. Farseer sitting at level 5. Tauren Chieftain just shy of 5 himself. One Wind Rider hiding in the back here. Altar of Storms low on hit points. Tauren Chieftain trying to regroup. That Voodoo Lounge quickly taken down. And INSUP's lack of information, not knowing about the expansion, may be the death of him. And you can't really fault INSUP. During what situation would you have thought that Hitman had time to actually set up an expansion? All right, Tauren Chieftain gets up to, or sitting at level 4, going to finish off another Crypt Fiend in transit, gets up to level 5, and that is going to be a big deal. Ring of Protection +3, Unholy Aura, faster movement speed. Tauren Chieftain, well, ready to put his foot down and put some pressure on to these Crypt Fiends and all of these units. And there are very little Obsidian statues, only one Obsidian statue there. INSUP needing to rebound here, and this is a great situation to be in. But what is this? INSUP purposely changing the rally points on his units so that he can catch them, but he's forgot that there is this Watcher Ward off over here by the Goblin Merchant Shop. That Watcher Ward, another Crypt Fiend getting lost in transit, and being able to shut down these rally locations, such a big deal. All right, trying to buy some additional items, perhaps a potion of lesser invulnerability. No Dust of Appearance. Going to be going in for an engagement. Tauren Chieftain now trying to make its way back. Are we going to see a stomp? No, wait, where's the stomp? There's the stomp right there. Chain Lightning bouncing around. However, the Death Coil was in time. Looking to put in more pressure again. Tauren Chieftain puts down another stomp. Death Knight, is it going to end up getting finished? Find the bounce. Again, Farseer still wandering around here. A third Chain Lightning, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, a little bit split second lane. There's a Tauren, there's a Stomp. Death Knight temporarily stunned as it gets taken down again and again. Chain Lightning finding those Crypt Fiends. Farseer escaping away. Less than, I believe, 10 hit points. After all of those spells, a bit of a lucky break again as Healing Salve, recovering much of that damage once more. Farseer, that Unholy Aura, that natural additional bonus regeneration for the win there, giving that Farseer additional life, just enough to escape and fight again another day. Wind Rider going to get taken down. Hitman sitting at 46 supply, still sitting in no upkeep. A great game of attrition, but I don't believe INSUP knows that Hitman just has, well, more natural resources. Barrack's going to get taken down here. Wind Riders trying to retreat all the way back. Another 4 Wind Riders working together once more. And really, Orc just laying traps time and time again. And INSUP not realizing that unless he has real ways to effectively deal damage to buildings, he's not using his time that efficiently. All right, Voodoo Lounge rebuilt, Torrent Chieftain ready to bounce on through again. And it is also important to note that Hitman has been using his gold on items. By using his gold on items, it's easier to hide the fact that you have an expansion. Wind Riders quickly taking down that one destroyer there. Chain Lightning bouncing around once more. Well, beautiful save there as we're looking at the units just continuing to fight again. Wind Riders could get taken down as we're looking at Envenom Spears just really taking down a couple of Crypt Fiends once more. Chain Lightning bouncing through again. Another Crypt Fiend going to get taken down as the Death Knight was temporarily, it looked like it was temporarily stunned, hence no additional heals. All right, another Stomp now coming down. Death Knight going to get a Death Coil off onto that Lich right there. A Frost Nova slowing down many of those Wind Riders. Who's going to come out on top? One more final shot. There goes the Destroyer. Farseer could get to level 6 here, which would be level 3 Chain Lightning. Lich, however, gets up to level 5 as damage is still adding up through and through. One more shot there. Farseer close to level 6 again. Torrent Chieftain may try to throw down a Stomp. Where is that Farseer going? Farseer's trying to retreat away with the Wind Riders as the Torrent Chieftain is also trying to back away. Torrent Chieftain finally going to walk over here to this Voodoo Lounge and says, surprise, INSUP, I've had this expansion. What of it? All right. Expansion here. INSUP, well, pretty much beating himself for not checking to see if an expansion was in a play at all. 47 supply compared to 41. You can't give this free to your opponent while he's taking down your peons. You need to try and engage and deal damage to the actual army. Big Frost Nova there, followed by Chain Lightning finishing off multiple units. Death Knight is at level 6. Animate Dead not chosen. Instead, level 3 Unholy Aura for faster movement speed and better regeneration. All right, more damage still coming across. Death Knight getting the Death Coil off onto that Crypt Fiend again, as we're still looking at more damage here. There is another Stomp. Lich could be in trouble. Lich could use a Potion of Invulnerability in time at level 5. Death Knight realizing, you know what, that Potion of Invulnerability doesn't last forever. I need to save, and save that Lich he does by taking him home. Lich back at home. Crypt Fiend very low on hit points, able to be saved as well. Main gold mine has been mined out. This gold mine, even though it shows on the map, has been mined out as well. Only Hitman is mining, and he still has more than 10 minutes of mining to go. Hitman, not really known to go into low upkeep against undead. And I think this is where INSUP made the miscalculation. Hitman often likes one base play, and that's what Hitman did. Hitman using his experience against INSUP, since these two players do play against each other fairly often, knew that he could get away with this particular strategy, and so far he's been doing a great job doing exactly that. All right, Howl of Terror coming across here, 36 supply army compared to 38. Are we going to be looking at a couple of units while getting ensnared here? Howl of Terror, no Howl of Terror. Crypt Fiends could have webbed, and it looks as though, yeah, there was unsummoning of that Black Citadel, so this is an all-in attempt from INSUP. Torrent Chieftain comes in with the Stomp, going to finish off one Crypt Fiend already, level 6 onto the Farseer. Farseer now with level 3 Chain Lightning. Torrent Chieftain trying to back away, throws down a Stomp for good measure to stop all of the Acolytes as the Wind Riders are trying to focus down units. However, that level 2 Howl of Terror greatly reducing the amount of damage being done. Farseer is at level 6, has a Clarity Potion. Torrent Chieftain perhaps going to buy some healing as well, as I believe he bought a Potion of Healing there. There is a Potion of Mana. Farseer could go in for a Chain Lightning, level 3 Chain Lightning bouncing around, seemingly endless as the damage is adding up. There goes the Obsidian Statue and much of the hopes for INSUP. 30 supply compared to 42. Units are trying to retreat back, but the Torrent Chieftain falls at level 5, unable to get away. Death Knight, Death Coil, Lich, Frost Nova, finding those targets again and again. All right, more damage coming back across. There goes the Obsidian Statues, and now all of the Wind Riders need to do is focus down onto one target at a time, and that Envenom Spear damage does add up very, very quickly. Farseer has enough for another Chain Lightning, but needs to find the right target. There's a Howl of Terror trying to finish things off here. There's still, I believe, long distance mining, or I saw long distance mining happening earlier, as we see another Death Coil. Death Coil for days from that Death Knight. As we're looking at the Lich still trying to come back around here. Pit Lord down to 75 hit points. It looks as though it is going to end up getting blocked. No, not getting blocked here. Acolytes could get finished off here as we're looking at the Pit Lord trying to escape, and the Chain Lightning bounce just at the end of range. Farseer gets the shot, kills the Pit Lord, and gets the GG. A beautiful, beautiful game, back and forth. Hitman with, well, losing on the hero front by a significant amount, losing his Tauren Chieftain, but level 3 Chain Lightning for the win, finishing off that Pit Lord right there. And INSUP knew that he wouldn't be able to come back into that game. He wouldn't be able to harass in time to stop the mining, and really well played. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.